The world of music is in mourning following the passing of Brian Wilson, the visionary co-founder of the Beach Boys, who died yesterday at the age of 82. Though the official cause of death has not yet been disclosed, the impact of his departure has been deeply felt across the globe. Musicians, fans, and fellow legends alike have come forward to honor the memory of one of the most influential figures in the history of popular music. Brian Wilson was not just a performer. He was a composer, producer, and creative force who redefined the boundaries of what pop music could be. His intricate harmonies, symphonic arrangements, and emotionally resonant lyrics left an indelible mark on generations of listeners and musicians. His contributions helped shape the sonic landscape of the 20th century, and his legacy continues to inspire artists around the world. Among the most notable tributes came from Bob Dylan, a longtime admirer and contemporary of Wilson. In a heartfelt statement, Dylan shared his personal reflections on the loss of a man he considered not only a peer, but a musical genius. Heard the sad news about Brian today and thought about all the years I've been listening to him and admiring his genius. Rest in peace, dear Brian, wrote Dylan, his words carrying the weight of decades of respect and admiration. Elton John, the British singer-songwriter and global music icon, also expressed his sorrow in a touching tribute that highlighted the profound influence Wilson had on his own career. Brian Wilson was always so kind to me from the day I met him, John wrote in a statement shared on social media. I grew to love him as a person, and for me, he was the biggest influence on my songwriting ever. He was a musical genius and revolutionary. He changed the goalposts when it came to writing songs and shaped music forever. A true giant. These words echo what many in the music industry have long acknowledged. Brian Wilson was not just a talented artist. He was a trailblazer. From the sunny, surf-inspired melodies of the early Beach Boys to the complex, emotionally rich compositions of Pet Sounds and beyond, Wilson's work defied conventions and reimagined what pop music could achieve. His genius lay not only in crafting catchy tunes, but in embedding them with a deeper emotional resonance that spoke to the human condition. Fellow artists, producers, and former collaborators have also joined in remembering Wilson. The surviving members of the Beach Boys, Mike Love, Al Jardine, Bruce Johnston, and David Marks, released a joint statement reflecting on their shared history and Wilson's incomparable role in the band's evolution. Brian wasn't just our bandmate. He was our guiding light, the statement read. His ability to hear sounds and create arrangements that no one else could imagine brought the Beach Boys to life. We traveled the world together, made history, and created music that will outlive us all. We will miss him more than words can say. Over the years, Brian Wilson struggled with mental health challenges that were as public as they were painful. Despite these difficulties, he continued to create, perform, and connect with fans. In many ways, Wilson's resilience was as inspiring as his genius. He became a symbol of survival, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, beauty and hope could still emerge. Social media has since been flooded with posts from fans sharing stories of how Wilson's music changed their lives. From heartfelt posts about walking down the aisle to God Only Knows, to memories of road trips with good vibrations playing on loop, it's clear that Brian Wilson's music was more than entertainment. It was the soundtrack to people's lives. Music historians and critics are also revisiting Wilson's towering contributions. Many point to Pet Sounds as one of the most important albums ever made, a project that influenced everyone from the Beatles to Radiohead. Paul McCartney famously called it his favorite album of all time, and even credited it as the inspiration behind Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Wilson's musical vision was deeply personal and often ahead of its time. His work with the Wrecking Crew, the legendary group of Los Angeles session musicians, and his use of unconventional instruments like bicycle bells, theremins, and Coca-Cola cans as percussion helped forge a new era of experimental production. In an age before digital technology, Wilson's hands-on approach and intuitive understanding of sound texture placed him in a league of his own. Throughout his career, Wilson also embarked on solo projects that reflected a more intimate side of his artistry. Albums like Brian Wilson, 1988, Imagination, 1998, and No Peer Pressure, 2015, allowed him to further explore themes of love, redemption, and vulnerability. Despite the ups and downs, Wilson remained active in music well into his later years, performing live and collaborating with younger generations of artists who revered him as a mentor. John Legend, who performed with Wilson in the early 2000s, recalled their session with warmth and admiration. To share a studio with Brian was surreal, Legend said. He had this quiet presence, but when he opened his mouth to sing or offered a suggestion on arrangement, the room would light up with brilliance. In his later years, Wilson received numerous accolades, including Grammy Awards, inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and the Kennedy Center Honors. But perhaps his most enduring legacy will be found not in awards, but in the millions of hearts his music has touched. Radio stations across the globe are dedicating their playlists this week to Wilson's vast catalog, playing deep cuts alongside the classics. Memorial concerts and tribute events are already being planned, with fans eager to gather and celebrate the life of the man who gave them Wouldn't It Be Nice, Surf's Up, Don't Worry Baby, and so many more. Even in his absence, Brian Wilson's voice continues to echo, soft yet powerful, nostalgic yet eternal. As the tributes continue to pour in from fellow musicians, fans, and admirers across generations and continents, one thing is certain. Brian Wilson may be gone, but the music lives on. In a world constantly changing, his melodies remain timeless, forever floating in the air like the endless waves of the California coast he so loved. Rest in peace, Brian Wilson. You gave the world its sweetest harmonies, and in return, we offer you our everlasting gratitude.